Australia's four big banks are coming into scrutiny as Australia's desperate need for revenue is front page news. Yet another revenue source, Leighton Holdings, is now an overseas company. Recently it was said that the real strength, if there is any, of the share market were the big banks, BHP, Rio Tinto and Telstra. With miners now also RANs, we should look at the almost 50% ownership of the four big banks by the Krupp Megabank group of JP Morgan, HSBC and Citigroup. The four banks are prominently located in most country cities and towns. I presume that this also applies in Queensland regions where the banks are using police to change the locks on farmers' homes. It is said that recent farm loans have included confidentiality clauses. Does this apply to the approximately 22 farmers in our region who are facing foreclosure? Will we learn what is happening, or will they have to silently give up their farms and move to the coast to enjoy their Centrelink payments? What a letdown from their parents and grandparents who made profits in the farms which they loved and cared for. My plan is to take the predicament and my plans for revenue to Michael McCormack, who is the Parliamentary Secretary of the Minister for Finance. These plans were taken to the New South Wales election without success. When we go into the federal election with them, I suggest that you visit Michael and ask him for his plan. If you stop talking to me, perhaps he will talk to you. The plans include, but not limited to, open Lower Lakes Barrage as soon as the base of Lock 0 is in place. Fixed dollar at 70 cents or other agreed value. Use countervailing duty to save Valencia farmers who do not have an integrated plan. Return zero tolerance to imported products. Use selective tariffs for imported structural steel and other important and other income-producing work for Australians. During the federal campaign, I will be targeting Ian Macfarlane. He did not have a plan to save manufacturing, but he would not consider selective tariffs. In his letter to me, Ian Macfarlane proudly told me that in 2012 Australia exported $300 billion. I told him we should have exported $450 billion. On the 16th of May 2014 I sent this to Michael McCormack to pass on to Joe Hockey. He chose not to pass it on. My high school economics teacher Frank Taylor would tell them that if the actual revenue gets closer to that which is required, the slope of the debt curve would decrease, as shown. If the gap widens, the slope of the debt curve would get steeper. Developing countries are getting richer as developed countries accumulate more debt. For the United States, Europe and Japan, it is much more than for Australia, but we appear to be catching up. Do we need to start thinking about who we would prefer to buy us out? China, India, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. We should take our pick.